Hi. Thank you for attending today's reading. Let's begin. I was hit in the head by my stepdad. So, I wanted to tell the story that has happened to me today. So my mother has been dating this guy for over 4 years. I think. I am 16 years old and I am 5 feet 8. You will see why I mention this after. And he is 6 feet 3 or something like that. Anyway, let's get to the point. It all started today. I got mad because I saw that the internet was lagging so bad and I thought it was my stepdad who caused it. I still think that. Because he mines crypto coins and all that crap. So, I told my mother about this and she starts yelling on me. Then my stepdad came out and started saying crap about me that I accused him even though I didn't. I just asked. After he started accusing me and saying that I am a fucking liar and I will not be a developer and I am lying that I know some coding even though I do. Anyway, after 2 minutes of shit talking I was so mad that I pushed him. After I pushed him he held my hand and I didn't really think of it since he could have done that because of self-defense. But after 10 minutes, I was in my room chilling doing some coding and I heard him swearing at me and coming to my room. So, I grabbed my phone and decided to record. He came to my room talking shit and slapped me out of nowhere and then he was holding my shirt and hitting my head until my mother stopped him. I could have stopped it but I let it happen. Because I was holding my phone. I didn't wanna have more trouble so. After this happened I was so fucking mad. I was mad because that was not self-defense and he just straight up attacked me after 10 minutes. But if you think it is, tell me in the realize. And the worst part is my mother is on his side after all this and wants me to go to my father and never return. Basically he wanted to kick me out of the house. I called my dad and told him everything and even showed him the video that I recorded. He told me that this was not a self-defense that he had done to me and he told me to not do something yet. Call THR police etc. Then we both hang up the phone. So this was the story. Please tell me, what are your thoughts? Was his attack self-defense or no? Anyway, thank you for reading my story and sorry if I had any grammatical mistake. Because I am from Greece. End of story. Next story. Kinda got attacked by a bird today, Sue. I. F15. Got out of school early today. So I figured I'd walk to my aunt's house since I usually visit her after school anyways. So I start walking to her house and I'm about 2 minutes away. When all of a sudden this crow swoops down, barely missing my head. This stupid bird would have ran right into me if I hadn't ducked. Pun intended. The bird lands on the nearby power lines and glares at me while screaming. Then swoops back down, nearly missing me again. Surprise, surprise. It swoops down yet again. But this time I'm done with its BS. So after it dive bombs me. For the 3rd time. I scolded it by saying, "Hey, stop that." Of course it didn't listen and it comes in again. Missing the top of my head ever so slightly. I swear to God this crow was out for blood. It dive-bombed my head at least 7 times. Luckily it never touched me. Might have been because I was wearing a beanie. But yeah, this has got to be the funniest thing that's happened to me in a while. So I figured I'd share. Sorry for any errors. End of story. Next story. I wrote this fairy tale inspired by my ex-GF, a mentally ill drug addict, and a good person, the angel in the hole. Once, as a young man strolled through the forest while going about his daily rituals, he spotted a strange hole off the beaten path. A soft voice, asking for help, emanated from its depths. Curious. The young man followed the cries. And within the hole he beheld a fallen angel, beautiful and softly glowing. As the hole was not so deep, the young man extended his hand and helped the angel to her feet. As he did so, he noticed that her wings were badly frayed, even broken in places. The angel, now upright, thanked the young man and hugged him profusely. When he asked her what happened to her wings, she replied simply, "I do not know." When he asked her why she was in a hole, she said, "This is my home." Naturally, the young man thought this absurd, and tried to convince her to climb out and enjoy the bounties life had to offer. The angel refused. She maintained she was comfortable in her little hole. The young man shrugged, left the hole's edge, and went about his business. But with every passing day, the smitten young man would stop by the angel's hole, sometimes to say hello, and sometimes to talk. The angel was always grateful for the young man's company. She enjoyed his warmth and good heart. It was not long before the two of them fell in love. The young man left his previous life behind and went to live in the hole with the angel. It is then he discovered what the angel did all day. She dug. Confused, the young man asked the angel why she dug so fervently. She told him that she eventually hoped to reach hell, where she would bargain with the devil for her wings. The young man thought this foolish, but out of love for the angel, he humored her, and the two lived happily. For a time, the angel would warm and nourish the young man's body with her heavenly glow, and fill his heart and ears with words and gestures of love. These gestures often took the form of shiny rocks the angel found during her dig. But the young man accepted the angel's gifts gracefully and with a heartfelt smile. For he knew this was all the angel had to give. It was the only way she had of showing him her love. And he cherished it. But one day, the angel's shovel broke. The young man thought this perfect. She could finally cease her frenzied digging, leave her hole and find some other way to get her wings. The angel still refused to leave, and proceeded to dig with her hands. The young man looked on with great sadness at the angel's display, and winced whenever the angel would cry out in pain as her nails chipped and cracked against the stone. Moved by her suffering, the young man left the hole and quickly returned with a new shovel. The angel leapt with joy as she beheld the young man's gift, and resumed her dig, her love for the young man burning ever brighter. And so it went. Whenever the angel's shovel broke, she would ask the young man for a new one, and at first he obliged. But as the hole got deeper, and the shovels broke more frequently against the harder stone, the young man began to refuse the angel's requests. As she dug with her hands, she screamed and cursed and insulted the young man. But the young man knew the angel's heart was good, and that her harsh words were born only of pain and grief. He begrudgingly got her a new shovel once more, but became more insistent that she abandon her foolish quest from then on. He asked her, "Why will you not come with me to the church? Leave this hole behind. Pray to God, and surely He will restore your wings." Sometimes, the angel would try, and fail. The hole had become too deep, and the cold earth was all she knew. But the young man would not relent. It was such that he had become embittered at the angel's stubborn refusal. Harsh words and demands for more, sturdier shovels. He no longer loved the angel, he thought, and stood by her side only out of familiarity and duty. He felt it his mission to help the angel in any way he could, that they might find true, lasting happiness together. But the angel's displays of affection and love grew trite and meaningless to him in the face of her harsh words and actions, and her words of love now rang hollow. The young man grew cold and distant. In an effort to numb himself against the angel's outbursts, the angel felt the young man's pain, and out of love gave his proposal one final try. And she almost succeeded. It was only when she beheld the embittered, hardened shell that had become of the young man, a result of her words and actions, that she abandoned her ascent, and returned to her dig. She beseeched the young man, through streams of tears and wretched sobs, "Leave, and never return. It is clear I have been naught but a blight upon your life. Leave me to my work, and I will plague you no longer." The young man was heartbroken. After all he had done, the angel had cast him out. She had resigned herself to her fate, and refused to see the young man break himself upon her, as a shovel against stone. As the angel disappeared into the depths, the young man cast himself back into the yawning chasm. Desperate to regain what he had lost, the angel's resolve faltered for a moment. She wanted the young man to stay, but she felt the stone getting hotter beneath her feet, and heard the voices of demons beckoning her onward. She knew the young man could not stay where she went. She told him he could not follow. The young man pleaded and cried, and asserted that he did not care, that he loved the angel and would do anything to be with her. But the angel was resolute, and with a final burst of heavenly strength, she cast the young man from her prison forever. The young man wept as he collected himself. His love was truly lost to him. But as he beheld the trees once more, and heard the birds, smelled the fresh air and felt the warmth of the sun against his skin once again, he realized that the whole, and the angel, had become his entire world. Unable to return to it, he was forced to look to the future, and find some way enjoy life's bounties anew. And with time, and great effort, he did. But every now and then, his journey would take him back to the edge of the hole in which he knew the angel toiled. More than once the temptation to jump back down gripped the young man. He knew the angel was suffering down there, alone in the darkness. When the forest was quiet and the sky was dark, he swore he could hear her tormented sobs, and the scraping of metal against stone, and catch a faint glimpse of her heavenly aura emanating from the blackness. But as time passed, the man grew to relish the sunlight, and the birds, and the trees, and the air. With every visit, the angel's cries and glow became ever fainter, as did the man's pain. He cast his eyes upon the pit one final time. There is no happiness to be found down there, he concluded, for anyone. End of story. That is all for today. If you want to support my automated channel, feel free to drop a like and subscribe. See you tomorrow.